Any worry going on in the WNBA executive offices, if there is no worry, oh, people aren't going to turn off, oh, people are still going to show up, if that was the thought that they were having up there in WNBA La La Land, well, now might be the time to hit the panic button. 48 hours after news hits that Caitlin Clark is injured and she'll be missing 2 weeks, the market has responded and the market has told the WNBA,
no doubt that's about to happen. The WNBA teams that move their games, this is about to be catastrophic.
The WNBA's biggest dread has now materialized. Caitlin Clark's quad injury has already had catastrophic results. Thousands of vacant seats will soon be a problem for teams that move their games to bigger venues in advance of her arrival. While some fans are canceling their plans and withdrawing their tickets, others are simply boycotting the league as a whole. What do you think? While Clark is injured, is it too loyal for fans to boycott the WNBA?
We don't want this. What am I talking about? Indiana Fever ticket prices to games over the next 2 weeks have dropped 42% since Caitlin Clark's injury announcement, an average ticket price of $137.
The timing for the WNBA couldn't be worse. To tell the truth, they are to blame for this. Caitlin Clark, the athlete who single-handedly kept their television ratings and putts in seats, is currently sidelined due to a quad injury. The league, which has been diminishing her impact for months, will soon witness what life is like without their star player.
I don't know when it happened. I know afterwards, we got a message that she had something going on with her leg, and they were getting an MRI, and then we got the alert yesterday.
Was it after the Liberty game on Saturday?
Is that her last game?
Yeah.
Yes.
Steph, you had a chance to try out a lot of...
Let's investigate what is actually happening in this case. According to Indiana Fever coach Stephanie White, Clark will be reevaluated in 2 weeks, but anyone who has had quad injuries knows that this timeline is at best optimistic. We're anticipating 2 to 6 weeks because my money is on the longer end. This is not a minor change. It will take some time for this injury to heal. However, this is where things start to get interesting. In advance of Clark's arrival, several teams and the WNBA made significant financial commitments. The Washington Mystics moved their game against Indiana to a 15,000-seat stadium in Baltimore. The Chicago Sky moved the game to the United Center. The Dallas game was moved to the American Airlines Center, home of the Mavericks. These are not little decisions. We are talking about marketing initiatives, additional personnel, security, and venue rental costs that are all dependent on a single player's star power.
Yeah, I don't know how things work in pretend basketball. I don't know the history of transparency when it comes to timelines for injury returns in the WNBA. But I do know in the NBA, teams are rarely transparent with injuries. When the Pelicans say Zion Williamson will be reevaluated in 2 weeks, that really...
These same teams are currently dealing with what could be their worst attendance figures in a very long time. Moreover, the fans' motivations aren't covert. On social media, people are declaring that they would boycott games until Clark returns, sell their tickets, or cancel their plans. In the absence of Clark's performance, one fan tweeted that they were selling their Fever Mystics tickets because they didn't want to go from Washington, D.C. to Baltimore. Another said they would only watch Fever games on delay so the league wouldn't receive their live audience stats. These are not isolated incidents. Supporters who feel the league has mistreated their favorite player have organized this response. And let's be honest about the real reason behind this anger. It's not just about Clark's wounds. It has to do with how she has been handled by the WNBA during her entire league tenure. Since the beginning, there has been a strange tension between the league's wish to take advantage of her popularity and reduce her influence. Journalists and players were constantly debating how to share the attention and give credit to other players. The problem with this approach is that you can't have it both ways. You can't base your marketing strategy around someone and then be taken aback when there is a significant void left by their absence. The WNBA saw previously unheard-of television ratings while Clark was playing. Games that normally drew 200,000 viewers suddenly had over 1 million. Arenas that struggled to sell 5,000 tickets sold out venues with 20,000 seats. But rather than acknowledging this reality, the league often seemed uncomfortable with Clark's narrative control. Rather than acknowledging that a single player was largely responsible for the league's expansion, There was a constant attempt to make everything about it. They will soon realize the terrible truth about what their attendance and television ratings would be like without her. The damage itself raises important questions as well. After suffering with quad issues during the preseason, many people are wondering if Clark was rushed back too soon. Safeguarding your best. In a league where the season has already been cut short and physical play has been brutal, your top priority should have been a valuable asset. Rather, we are now facing a scenario in which the most lucrative player may be sidelined for a large amount of the season. From a business perspective, this is a surefire way to fail. The WNBA was finally gathering traction. Television deals were improving. Sponsorship interest was at an all-time high, and the mainstream media was actually paying attention. All of that was made possible by Clark's broad appeal and ability to draw in casual fans who might not otherwise follow women's basketball. Those casual followers have no strong allegiances to other players or teams. They won't watch Washington versus Chicago for the only reason that it's amazing basketball. Their enthusiasm in the WNBA was ignited by a specific player, and it disappears without that individual. Other talented players in the league are not insulted by this. It's simply how professional sports star power operates. When it comes to attendance, it will be very severe. Moving a game from a 7,000-seat arena to a 20,000-seat stadium on the hopes that the increased demand would justify the move is a major gamble. The goal of these teams' actions was not to break even. They expected sellouts and high ticket prices. At the moment, they are thinking about playing in partially empty stadia. Given all the additional costs related to the venue modifications, the optics alone will be devastating. Television cameras show thousands of empty seats in arenas that were supposed to be packed, demonstrating the league's true drawing power in Clark's absence. This kind of image is noticed by sponsors and TV executives, and it may have an impact on future contracts and partnerships. The league is even more annoyed by this because it is entirely self-inflicted. The WNBA has a great opportunity to benefit from Clark's success and help other players at the same time. Instead, they often seem to see her success as a liability rather than an asset. There was a strange reluctance to embrace everything she had to offer. The current fan response is the expected result of that plan. After you've spent months persuading someone that their favorite player isn't all that remarkable, don't be surprised if they decide to concentrate on someone else. When a player is hurt, the WNBA will have to learn the hard way that loyalty is returned. Some would argue that boycotting games while Clark is injured is excessive. They'll claim that supporters should still cheer on the league and other players, but that absolutely misses the mark. These supporters did not continue to back the WNBA. They happened to watch the WNBA and became fans of Caitlin Clark. There's a crucial difference there. The WNBA as a whole had a chance to win over those Clark-specific fans. But that necessitates making a sincere effort to effect that conversion. Instead, it seemed to be anticipated that once people started watching, they would eventually become fans of everything else as well. That is not how fandom works, especially for casual sports viewers. Beyond just ticket sales and TV ratings, there are also financial consequences. Merchandise sales are likely to decline. Sponsorship activation is more difficult when your main attraction isn't taking part. Media attention will unavoidably decrease in the absence of Clark's plots to follow. The ripple effects affect every aspect of the league's business plan. The worst thing is this. This could have been avoided. With the right load, this entire issue might have been prevented. Protocols, better injury prevention, management, and maybe not rushing a player back from a previous quad issue. However, the urge to capitalize on Clark's popularity may have led to decisions that prioritized short-term profit over long-term player health. The timing is particularly harsh because this is happening at a crucial point in the league's development. The WNBA was finally gaining popularity, but sustaining that momentum requires consistency. You can't grow your casual audience if your biggest celebrity is away for long stretches of time. There's no guarantee that those viewers will come back. They might discover something else to watch. It will be fascinating to watch how the league handles this issue. Do they embrace the reality of Clark's impact on their business, or do they uphold the fallacy that no player is crucial to the WNBA's success? Given the attendance and television numbers over the upcoming weeks, it will be difficult to maintain that argument. Paradoxically, the WNBA spent a lot of time trying to show that Clark wasn't essential to their success. Soon, They will get the chance to show that they can sketch without her, which is exactly what they want. The problem is that every early indication suggests that they will not succeed in their endeavor. Beyond Clark's injuries, there is more to the boycott movement. Supporters feel that the league has shown disrespect to the sportsmen who brought them into the fold. When you mix that underlying rage with the reality that a lot of fans only watch for one certain player, we're currently witnessing a perfect storm. Teams that wagered heavily on Clark's ability to draw will soon have to deal with the consequences of that gamble. The rearranged games, increased marketing spending, and increased expectations all presumed her presence. Without her, they become too pricey. Lessons about the risks of concentrating your entire strategy on one person, especially if you haven't done enough to create backup plans. A crash course in star economics is on the horizon for the WNBA. They will be able to observe their media coverage, attendance figures, and television ratings without their main draw. Furthermore, given the fan reaction we've already witnessed, those numbers won't be favorable. This situation perfectly captures the tension that has existed in women's basketball since Clark joined the league. The injury will offer the most tangible solution to the ongoing argument between collective development and individual star power. The analytics are accurate and will provide a very clear image of the people who actually show interest in the WNBA. The WNBA is poised to receive a harsh lesson about biting the hand that feeds you. Those empty stadiums and low ratings will send a clear statement about who is most important to their bottom line. What are your thoughts on the whole situation? In the space provided for comments below, kindly express your thoughts. Click like and subscribe for more absurd sports news.